Welcome to the fantastic plastic world.
Two years ago, John Purlia left his job as a software engineer at Qualcomm to play with his toys.
It's just fun. When I'm out in my studio, I'm essentially playing.
But playing with a purpose.
I just sort of start playing in my studio and building a scene, and eventually it just starts to come together, and I would call it storytelling using a single picture.
Purlia got his first camera 8 years ago. Some might call what he creates kitsch art, or perhaps pop surrealism.
The starting point for this was definitely the book in the center.
He calls it a strange and weird form of narrative photography, employing toys against a backdrop of vintage records and books.
So I set up these objects in a way that kind of combines innocence with a little bit of edginess, I guess, to them, so that you've got a juxtaposition of kind of cute and cuddly, but then if you look at it more closely, then you're kind of like, oh, this story is about something completely different. It's kind of what you try and do in a pop song, where you try and make the beat really poppy and fun, but the lyrics are a little bit more serious.
So in this photo, your eye may initially be drawn to the cute Kewpie dolls, but then you'll be playfully led to more serious ideas by Purlia's subtle details and the clever title, Financial Freewheeling and the Futile Pursuit of the American Dream.
Probably my all-time favorite is, unbeknownst to her creator, Eve longed to become a cheerleader. The titles sometimes take longer than actually setting up and photographing the images.
The titles, along with the juxtaposition of certain images and objects, create an ironic tone that Purlia hopes will get people thinking about things like the economy, politics, and religion, but always in a playful way that rarely offends.
The toy is making some sort of statement on nuclear power or on religion, but the toy is still a toy, and its expression doesn't change, and it smiles at you, and it's not threatening. And I think by doing that, maybe it makes people a little bit more receptive to the messages that I'm telling through the art.
And that's why Purlia is so in love with Kewpie dolls.
Kewpies they're just kind of fun because they look really innocent, but they're kind of creepy too. Like they might do something really bad and they don't care because they're happy.
Purlia has 3 Kewpie dolls that he depends on: a devilish red one, an innocent pink one, and a green one.
Green one is almost always, in some ways, looking back directly at the person viewing the photograph. So the green Kewpie doll is kind of begging some sort of an observant reaction from the viewer. And that's kind of the way that I look at this. I create this little world, and then there are almost dueling factions and sensibilities, and I'm still leaving a lot up to interpretation when you look at the photos, but there's definitely a intent in setting up the scene and then letting people decide for themselves what the outcome is or should be.
Purlia has collected his work in what he calls a digital coffee table book available through iTunes. But currently, he's working on a special boxed edition of a miniature version of his book that will come with a Kewpie doll.
And I think it's going to be a fun little addition as a keepsake for people who want something physical in this world that is quickly moving into a digital realm. Physical objects are still fun and desired by people.
And they're still fun to play with.
I think a rabbit kind of coming out of from underneath the Illustrated Encyclopedia of Sex sort of makes sense.